If you were worried about getting sick from too much motorcycle news, don't worry, there's no such thing. Your intros are getting worse and worse, Dave. Seriously, man. Do something about it. Drink some inspiration tea or something. How would you like to ride on your around the world adventures, which we all do of course, on a 200 horsepower purpose-built adventure oozing machine? If that has you all wet, rejoice. The Italians are hard at work on it. We've seen a small glimpse of the Ducati Multistrada V4 last year in September sometime, and now new photos of the camouflaged beast have surfaced online and she looks ready to rock and roll. Or love songs. I think Italians are more into love songs than rock and roll. Unlike other manufacturers, Ducati is taking things seriously and has covered its test mule in full camo. The first and most important thing we can see is that the shiny new V4 16 stradale engine. It currently produces 214 horsepower on the Panigale V4 and 208 horsepower on the Street Fighter V4, and while obviously there are no figures yet for the Multistrada, anywhere between 180 and 200 horsepower is expected, even if the new engine will need to be retuned to Euro 5 specifications. This is usually done by upping the capacity a little and keeping the power the same, or keeping the capacity unchanged and losing a few horses. Ducati will most probably keep the engine at 1103 cc's, even if a few horses escape, since it really does have a lot to play with anyway. That is a lot of power in an adventure touring bike. I'm scared to go full throttle with the 125 horsepower of this GS behind me. KTM's 1290 Adventure with its 150 plus horsepower is just pure madness to me. Imagine having 200 horses tied to your throttle hand and then taking it off-road. In terms of looks, the new V4 Multistrada pretty much sticks to the design of the existing Multistrada 1260. You will still see a twin pod headlight. However, from these images, the headlight setup looks noticeably more streamlined than the current version, and in addition to that, new LED daylight running lights make a welcome appearance. A bright red trellis subframe can also be seen, and I like this quite a lot. It gives the bike that specific Italian look, especially in contrast with the bright yellow spring from the monoshock. The radar units, which were previously spotted, have remained on the test bike, which is good news for those wanting more peace of mind from their electronic systems. The front one is positioned just between the headlights and the rear one just under the tail light. The radar system will monitor distance to other vehicles in the front and should also give warnings if a vehicle approaches too quickly from the rear. The Multistrada V4 is most probably Ducati's answer to the BMW S1000 XR, another sporty tourer which has seen a lot of interest from riders lately. Ducati will not be replacing the existing 1260 Multistrada with the V4 version, but is rather adding it to its lineup, which is good news if you're actually into, having choice and all. By looking at the almost finished state of the bike, it's pretty much guaranteed to drop at EICMA in November this year and be available as a 2021 model. So if you're on the fence about getting a new sporty tourer, maybe adding this to your waiting list is the wise thing to do. The Multistrada V4 will be the third model from Ducati to come with this V4 engine, after the Ducati Panigale V4 and the Ducati Street Fighter V4, and while both of these make upwards of 200 horsepower, the Multistrada is likely to be tuned a bit more for torque rather than for pure racing power. However, as I said, anything from 180 to 200 horses is really no stretch of the imagination. Speaking of imagination, what do you imagine doing on one of these? Do you think this is exactly what the adventure touring market was looking for at the moment? Let us know in the comments below. Well, that's the show for today, everyone. If you've enjoyed it, give it a big thumbs up. And if you think you've learned something new, consider subscribing or becoming a patron to help us make more of these shows. Cheers, I'll see you on the next one, and until then, stay safe.